All right, welcome everybody. I'm joined by Lee Holland. I'm Ben McCoy. We're going to watch the top 8 of Vintage Masters 2018, and we have Thomas Ribet. Is that how you
I think it's Ribet.
I hope that's right. And Jacob Dunn playing.
Yep. So Thomas is on 4-color Controllie fish, and Jacob Dunn's on Grixis Control. So we are shuffling up, getting ready to play right now. So it's an interesting top 8 we've got to.
Yeah, it is. I think there's 2 dredge, 1 shops, a couple of control decks, a couple
2
of white
standstill.
blue. Yeah, that's right, standstill decks. Is that add up to 8? I can't remember. And I think there's a Delver deck as well.
Yes. So having a look at Thomas's deck, 4 colors. So with 3 containment priests in the main. Mentor looks like the main win condition of the deck. There's a Jace, Mind Sculptor, and a bunch of Controllie bits.
Yes, and we've got Jacob Dunn, 4 Dark Confident. I didn't even know he was playing that. I haven't really seen him play today. So, Confidence, 3 Jace the Mind Sculptors. It's a human control deck, he's calling it. Yes, it is too. So Dark Confidence, Jace. Well, that's all that in that. Oh, the Jailer's in the sideboard.
So it looks to be 2 fairly controlling lists that we have here right now.
We haven't had either of these guys on camera, so this should be good fun to watch.
So just dealing our initial 7.
Who won the dice roll?
I didn't notice.
Oh no, wait, it's Top Swiss.
Top
Top
cool.
Swiss. Jacob.
I think Jacob was in 2nd spot. So
Okay, so we got a Soul Ring. Is that a library?
looks like
And
library and a
academy.
academy.
Ooh.
That's nice.
Yeah, why not? Let's start with something powerful. Only card that's more powerful on the draw than on the play, I reckon.
Yeah.
But it could take the game rather quickly. Right, Git Probe. Thomas.
So is Thomas playing the Git Probe?
Yeah.
We see a Dark Confident.
Oh, gifts ungiven.
That's
Confident.
interesting.
So next turn. Now, if I'm in Thomas' position, I'm trying to think out what Jacob's play is going to be. Next turn, it's draw a card.
Draw another card off the library.
Draw a card off the
So
library.
2 unknown.
You can't play Dark Confident yet, so you should probably just
Probably
land
land
turn.
pass.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what these draws are.
Yeah.
Snapcaster Mage.
Typically, when I have a library, a space in our library of Alexandria, I want to throw out threats there. If I don't have a Wasteland or a Strip Mine, that is. And I don't know whether Thomas has Waste or Strips in his hand. He's got a Strip Mine. Single Strip Mountain?
Single strip.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay, so if he doesn't have that for the library...
He's going to want to land a Containment Priest probably fairly quickly to try and actually put pressure on the board.
He's going to need a bit more than just a Containment
Well,
Priest, I think. Is 5 turns later,
Yeah.
only dealt 10 damage, and I've drawn lots of cards, extra 5 cards. I'm happy there. I'll take 10 life and draw 5 cards, thank you.
I think the trouble is he's not looking at playing a Monastery Mentor or Combo this turn, unless he has a Mox. But looks like he does have a Mentor in hand though, so if he can get that out turn 3, that might stabilize him a little bit against this library, because this library will bury him otherwise.
Yeah, that's right. And do we have permission? We don't know 2 cards in Jacob's hand.
Jacob?
There was a
There was the Dark Confident,
gift,
Soul Ring
Gifts. We can just have a
Tolarian
look now.
Academy.
So I'm just wondering whether he has a Force of Will for the Cambol. Monastery Mentor. Was it in Thompson's
Mentor
hand?
in his hand, yep.
Yeah. Alright. Cracking a fetch.
I think this list is a reasonably light on threats. So if Jacob can deal with the Mentor, then I think Thomas might be in a little bit of trouble at the moment. It'll be interesting to see where they go. So 16 plays 19 because Jacob has cracked a fetch. And we'll see what Jacob plays here. Interesting.
He might just pass.
Yeah. Or he could Dark Confident to put a little bit of pressure down.
I don't think you need to, do you? If I have a library of Alexander, I'm happy just drawing a few extra cards and doing things in response, like sculpting a really good hand that Thomas isn't going to be able to deal with. Like,
Yep.
you risk, I guess, if you play the Dark Confident, you risk it being killed and you being down a card.
Yep.
Let's have a look at Thomas's deck. There's three swords, so there's plenty of things
Yeah.
that could go wrong.
What's the other option then? Maybe play the Soul Ring, gearing up for a
Possibly.
given turn.
How many cards does he have in hand right
He has
now?
7 in hand at the
7.
moment, so he's
I may
got
just pass the turn.
Mm.
With 2 mana up, is that going to do much?
Or maybe he had 8. No, he had 8 in hand. Sorry, I apologise.
Is that a Mystic Remora? Does he play Mystic Remora? Or am I just imagining cards?
There's a Merchant Scroll on top there.
I'm trying
Mental
to see.
Misstep, Gifts Ungiven. Lightning
Given.
Bolt.
Oh, it's a Merchant Scroll.
It's a Merchant Scroll, yeah. So he went with the Soul Ring.
How many cards in hand now? 7 again.
7. There we are.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Jacob. So did we see what got DT'd for by Thomas? Is it that strip mine in his hand?
Oh, surely it was.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention to the truth. I saw the DT played.
Yeah.
Well, I was concentrating on so much on how I would be combating the library. DT is probably a good way to combat a library.
So we have a Merchant Scroll, looking for a Force of Will to protect. Protect.
Not
Jacob's
very good
position.
against strip mine.
No. In fact, it doesn't really do much protection at all there. However, it will protect against that Monastery Mentor we've been talking about.
Well, that's right. That's right. And I do think that's what Tom is trying to get to. Yeah, and there's the strip mine, which we're assuming he did DT for last turn. He's got the Thomas's hand now. Preordained now.
2 swords.
So now he's going to want to try to play a bit of catch up.
This stands for a bit of interesting magic, though. There's a combo, and there's his own library he sees on top with the Preordained there.
Ooh. How many cards is
6 in hand, maybe?
That could be quite swinging, couldn't it?
Because that library will be
Oh,
7.
and he's put it in his hand.
But yes, this looks like good magic at the moment. No aggression deck. 2 good old-fashioned control decks playing against each other.
Okay, so we got Tolarian Academy. So now Jacob's gearing up to play some big spells. Oh, he's passing turn. He's kept Force of Will open,
which he can
so he can just hardcast now. I dare say Thomas is going to play his own library. Yes, there it is.
So is that 7 cards in hand?
Probably pass the turn. I don't.
No,
No, he's
library, yeah.
actually he's got something else to play. He's got Mox or something to play.
Preordain in his hand.
Yeah, but he'll be discarding the hand slice now, won't he?
That's a very good point.
It's
Maybe
just-
he's hoping to find something off this Preordain.
Yeah, any Mox, any fast mana is probably.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Mox. It's interesting though because he does have the Mentor in hand, so he's expending some of his
Oh,
resources.
did he just bottom the Mox? He did. And he kept Force of
Kept
Will.
Force.
So he's going to discard a hand. Or maybe he just discards the swords. You don't really need them.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen any threats come out from Jacob, and even when Jacob plays, it might just be a case of having the Force is better.
It's been a really good game so far. Really interesting.
Yes.
What would you do now? Go to turn and discard for hand size, or would you play?
Yep.
What has he got to play? He doesn't have anything to play. He's used his land drop.
I think he's got Snapcaster in hand.
Can't play that.
He just got Force Combo. Yeah, he can't play anything.
So he's just really. All he's doing is considering what to discard down to hand size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he discarded a Preordain actually.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, has he got 7 in hand?
Yeah, he's got 7 now.
Oh, he's moving to discard. Oh no, he's moving to move to end step. Then we had a gifts in end step. Now he won't have to go to discard.
Yep.
Is that a force pitching misstep? I think it is. And we got a force pitching misstep. So Gifts is going to resolve, I believe. Oh, talking about complicated and powerful cards. Let's have a look. See
So
if
what's the
what do
gifts
we feel?
package?
Let's have a look. There
There doesn't look to be an instant win gifts package. There is Time Vault
Warhorse
Key,
Will,
Tinker.
Time Vault to Tinker, yeah. Mere Battle Sphere. It's only a single Gifts Ungiven in the deck too.
So he
very,
gets
very cool.
Yorg's Will.
He's played A-Call for turn, hasn't he? Oh, for the game, hasn't he? No, he hasn't, because he went Merchant Scroll for Force of Will. Oh.
Here's a very interesting to see. Here we go. VTTT,
All the good
A-Call,
stuff.
Yorg.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you give him?
Probably VTDT, to be honest.
You don't want to give him the 3 free cards from A-Call.
And Yorg, no.
Well, you definitely don't want to give him Yorgmoss Will, do you?
No. So Yorg's goes to the graveyard here. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's not bad piles.
Now, I've been told in my ear that Jacob only wanted 1 Gifts in the deck. Well, why would he... It's a good question. Why would you only want 1 when you can have more?
You're really only probably looking for those cards.
Did he give him Ancestral Recall?
No, he gave... Yes, VT and Ancestral were the 2 cards that were given.
Interesting.
Obviously decided that DT was too powerful, putting an unknown card into hand.
It's the... No card disadvantage. We're still in Thomas's end step too, so... This gets...
So has Thomas lost his library? No, he's still got a fair whack of cards in his library because he expended 2 cards. So next turn he'll draw and still be able to activate Library of Alexandra.
Yeah, because he was at 8 cards.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm not sure whether that was the spot to pick a fight with. It might be correct. I don't know. I mean, maybe he could have waited till the next turn, waited till he draws a card. Activate. No, he's still at 8 cards.
So VT'd for a Time Vault.
Probably was a good spot. Well,
So he VT'd for the Time Vault, but he put it straight into his hand rather than on top of the library.
Yeah, whoops. We can confirm that was the card, but I don't know whether that comes into...
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting for the judge. The judge today is Thomas Daniels. Done a very good job at the moment, I think.
Yeah, he's been very clear and...
Not that he's bothered me at all.
No, I wish he bothered me a bit more too. I called him once and it was stuff it was the shop's mirror match, and we'd figured out what it was already, but we thought, let's learn something and call a judge over anyway. It was all about game state based effects and stuff.
In every situation, it's better to call a judge than not call a judge.
Yeah, that's right.
You're wasting no one's time by calling a judge.
Yeah. Make him earn his money. Stuff him.
Yes. So, with knowing Time Vault is what Jacob went for. What's the line of play next turn? We've pulled out a Force of Will from Ribet's hand.
I would be... Well, what did he give him? He's got...
So use the
Vault,
VT.
and what else do you get from the gift?
A-Call.
A-Call VT. So you got A-Call VT.
Actually, that's really interesting because what did the A-Call find?
Yeah, we don't know what...
We didn't see it.
We didn't see what the A-Call found too. All we know is we know that he got Time Vault. So I'm not sure what the fix is here. I mean, he just put it in his hand because it was the end step and it was his draw for turn.
Yeah.
But
so it looks like he got a Brainstorm, a Force of Will, and something else off the A-Call.
Yeah.
Because it happened very quick. He did a lot at once just then.
Yeah.
And has obviously just misplayed. We'll hopefully find out what the
Do you know what Time Vault he VT'd for?
Yeah, we believe
Time
Time
Vault. Yeah.
You believe it was Time Vault?
We
Yeah.
believe it was Time Vault. Because he VT'd.
Yeah, the card, it was obvious. You could see the card that he grabbed out of his library and put it straight into his hand, which is not the place it was supposed to go, but
No.
that's what happened. I mean, fortunately we can say that we've got it recorded, so if we have to stop the recording and go back and look at it, we can, and we don't get to do that for every match, so I don't think you can really. It's not a precedent you want to be able to set. Yeah, that's a good point. Well,
I think Tom knows what to do. So if there is that option, Tom will take it.
Yeah. So the question that Tom has to ask him now is why did he do what he did?
Yep.
These are all the things. So if people want to learn a little bit about what judges do, I mean, you'll probably be more qualified than I am to say it. But neither of us are actual judges, but we've been around
a long time,
and we've friends with quite a lot. So they have to go through this protocol, and I believe so. He's been, by the way he's shuffling it, if it's a random card out of his hand, it's going to be shuffled back.
It might be put on top of his library. I'm not sure.
It might be called for drawing extra cards. Because the VT, it's not going to change it. See, the thing is, with something like this example, it's easy to rewind. It doesn't really matter what
it does come down to the onus of the player, and not everyone is a shining pillar of light.
What I'm saying, it doesn't matter what card goes on top.
If this is what it is,
drawing a turn.
But it does, because something like
brainstorm might have changed it. So what was the fix?
It looks like that Time Vault went on top.
Okay, so they've taken our word for it. Look, honestly, I don't think it really matters, because the same amount of cards have gone, and the same cards have still gone in his hand. So yeah, the judge was happy with what information he was given to him, and look, they're both honest people, and we're just here to have some fun. He got a game rule violation, and he was told to put that card back on top.
So just a mistake, trying to play a bit too.
And it's his first game rule violation for the day, so he's okay. Time walk. This is getting out of control rather quickly for Thomas.
Floating one colour, soft soul ring.
Say that we spent so much time talking about the judge call that Thomas has still got 6 cards in hand.
6 cards in hand,
library.
no counter spells, unfortunately.
Here's it, Bob. So we've got Time Walk Bob, yeah?
So Time Walk turn.
Build your own library. Good stuff, Jacob.
So lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt. We know lightning bolts.
So it does look like Jacob has seized control of this match, unfortunately for Thomas.
Yeah, I think that Time Walk's probably pretty big.
Yeah, that early library really has shone through as well. It enabled this position to happen.
Yeah, so Thomas only got to activate his one once, is that correct?
So
it was 2 or 3 times that Jacob got to do it.
Yeah.
And now a Dark Confident actually sort of is this using the same role as the library, by example, so keeping him a parity with the library that's on Thomas's hand. Like, the life gain is negligible.
So we now have Snapcaster into, I'm presuming, Time Walk? Or do you think A-Call?
I'd go with
Yorgmoth's
Wheel is the target.
Of course.
Yeah, fair, why not?
Yep.
How much mana does he have? He's got lots of blue mana on 1
red. He has red and Tellurian Academy, which is currently
4.
tapping for 4 more.
And land drop for turn? I don't know. I can't remember whether he's played a land for turn. No, he hasn't.
No.
So this will probably be getting a black mana.
Yep.
For DT, and then Voltaic Key win the game, I believe. That's my play.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Thomas does not have anything to interact at the moment.
Yeah, we know that for sure too, don't we?
Yeah. I think he's got a Snapcaster, but he doesn't have the mana
to cast
available.
DT. With plenty of mana floating. At least 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 3 floating. Yeah. Take all the turns, win the game.
You could probably even cast Time Walk.
yeah.
But it's somewhat redundant at the moment. are they playing out? Looks like Thomas might want to see a little bit
more of
Jacob
his deck, yeah. And but
and Dark Confident as well.
Dark Confident and Mana Crypt are in play, but he's just showing him he has the Lightning Bolt and the Hercules Recall in hand, so he can kill his own Bob at will when it's getting problematic for him, and he can Hercules Recall his Mana Crypt. All right, going to sideboards. Well, before we start on sideboards, I would like to mention that Jacob Dunn is actually playing his deck without Black Lotus.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it was the only piece of power he either doesn't own or couldn't borrow, and it is probably the hardest piece to acquire, even borrow off people, because the people who have them want to play Vintage. And I know Stephen Mead quite graciously loaned out his Lotus and didn't play Lotus today in his Delver deck. Yeah, because he loaned it to Jared Orsop, who's actually in top 8 right now, playing right now.
Yeah.
But okay, I thought I'd just make that little honourable mention. Let's have a look at sideboards.
Quick look at Thomas's list. We have a Pithing Needle. He showed us. What did Jacob just? Sorry, what did Jacob just show us there? Totally missed it. It's unfortunate. A Tinker for.
He's got Tinker in his sideboard, but
Swamp for a Strip Mine was what Jacob just showed us. I did think it was from the Vault Strip Mine, but I wasn't confirmed.
And that's it. I think that's pretty much all that Jacob has to board in, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And he's taking the Swamp out because he's not playing around Wastelands. I think he's pretty confident about that.
Yeah.
Do we know? Do they have deck lists to look at?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so. So they're playing blind. So okay, cool.
Yep. So we have maybe a Pithing Needle, maybe a Notion Thief.
I like Notion Thief in this match. Yeah, Flusterstorm seems good.
Stony Silence will come in. Well, we just saw Time Vault Key go off.
I guess.
And he's got Soul Ring and Crypt.
Look, I don't love Stony Silence in these matches because they have so many other ways to win. Like Jason Mart's got
very true.
You might, if he's got some bad cards to take out, sure, whack one in. But I particularly don't like it. I prefer Rest in Peace in this match, especially losing to a Gifts Ungiven like that.
Well, true. Getting that Yorgmoss really set up the play when he got the Snapcaster.
Yeah. So I think if I'm Thomas C, let's have a look at what
he takes out his Snapcaster Mages if he puts in Rest in Peace.
Well, let's have a look at what he would actually take out, because Containment Priest doesn't seem great in this match, does it?
No, Containment Priest does
Cabal seems awesome.
Swords to
Plowshare. That's cool. Swords, I don't like them either.
Yeah. 2 Pyroblasts, fine. Flusterstorm. Braid is fine in the main deck.
Yeah, I'd probably take that out too in this match. So he does actually have plenty to take out.
Yeah.
He's got plenty he can take out. I guess, I would go with Pithing Needle, Tinker, Sphinx of the Steel. No, Tinker and Sphinx of the Steelwind seem really bad. Tinker seems like a blowout in this match, doesn't it? So maybe you're right. Maybe you do get your Stony Silencers in there. Don't lose to Nullrod. No, don't lose to Time Vault.
That was Keen Vault in the opening hand. Acol, Ponder, Snapcaster, Island, Flusterstorm. Is that Flusterstorm?
Yeah, it was the Flusterstorm.
Yep.
Yeah. Was that? I think it's Stony Silence in this. So you did bring the Stony Silences in, it looks like.
Ponder resolves.
Right. What was it? It's a Mentor, a Git Probe, and a land, I think. This is going to get interesting and get busy really quickly.
So let's see. I think he took the Git Probe. Yep, plays the Git Probe.
Yeah. So draws another card. I don't know which order he put it back on. A library at Strip Mine. Whoa.
Key, drain, Snapcaster. So he's not going to power out the key in the vault.
No, but he's got it. But I have a feeling I saw a Stony Silence in Thomas's hand.
That will do Thomas really well.
Yeah, and now that he is just played this Git Probe and got this information, and he's thinking, all right, I need to get my white mana and get this thing.
Yep. So Jacob plays. Does Jacob play the library or the Strip Mine?
So how many?
This is still Thomas starting. This is still Thomas 10-1. Yeah,
I played the library.
yeah. What did you just?
You're on the draw. It's a free draw,
Yep.
and if Thomas has a strip mine, he's got a
We
strip mine.
passed turn without activating library.
That's fine.
Yeah, I guess you need to draw a mox.
You need
if
a
you
mox.
want to.
Yeah, that's fine. Wait for a counter wall. Like, you're going to be drawing an extra card anyway.
Yep.
Just shortcutting the thing. And there's the Stony Silence. So he did bring them in.
Yep.
Yep. And he's just and Jacob is just like, well,
There
that
goes my hand.
it's a bit of a blowout. Well,
Let's
actually,
see.
he gets to draw in response first, doesn't he?
Yeah,
And now
yeah.
resolves. Okay. His only card he could have got then was Force of Will,
Yeah.
which Thomas saw last turn he didn't have. So
Yeah.
if it was the first two cards in top of his library, he might have got it. Or DT's a good draw.
So what does Jacob have in answer to this Stony Silence, if it's even a big enough problem
Well,
to
see,
answer?
I'm not sure I would have been thinking that Stony Silence is something that's coming in against me. So maybe. I mean, you are playing Gifts Ungiven and a Time Bolt combo, so Stony Silence does seem relevant.
Yep.
What does let's have a look to see what Jacob might have brought in to counteract that. I mean, Jason the Mind Sculpted. Apparently, Dunn has just said, I enjoy playing against Tom because Ribet doesn't sugarcoat it.
That's two
wheel.
boxes in hand that are just not going to do anything. That Stony Silence.
I'm trying to figure out what he does against Stony Silence. Dark Confident, Force of Will, Jace, Bolt.
So I do wonder if Ribet kept his power in.
Yeah,
It'd be interesting to see what's in and what's not for.
I guess Tinker is his best out for it. That's the only thing I can find in his main deck. Ingot Chewer is in his... No, Ingot Chewer doesn't deal with it. I do not think Jacob has any way, except for counter spells, to deal with Stony Silence. I think his best win con is Tinker.
So to be clear, Stony Silence does not win the game for Thomas, but it presents a condition that stops Jacob from winning the game.
How about Kimball?
Kambal seems pretty good.
Kimball a bit more of a win condition for you?
Definitely more of a win condition. However, Jacob is fetching in response, and I think he's got a Mana Drain in hand.
Okay.
But it does look like there's something that.
Draw
Ooh,
first,
draw.
of course.
Yep.
Okay. And drain. Which means he stays on library for next turn.
Yep. Let's see the counterplay from Thomas. I just can't get over how good watching two control decks play against each other.
It's been a super good game. And a fast
cross.
Yep. And
So
Rebate's probably
offering
done,
cuts because they both fetched.
now, Rebate's probably done the right thing by playing Kimball first, because it's over Mentor, that is, because it's a threat that Jacob has to deal with.
And let's be honest, Thomas probably doesn't mind slow playing at the moment, as in not playing slowly, but taking longer to get that
grinding
win
out a bit
condition.
more.
Yeah.
I cannot figure out what Jacob does against Stony Silence. I just assumed he would have some sort of way around it. Oh, going for the red mana. That's interesting.
Yeah. So 7 cards in hand, which means his library's on. Draws a card. Lightning bolts Kimball.
Yeah, well, the lightning, killing the Kimbol's not much of an issue. He's going to do it now, I think. Yeah, Wild Thomas is tapped out.
Yep, that's a reasonable play.
Yeah. And our main man, Sully, who's keeping track of what's happening on the battlefield, is going to have fun with life totals right now.
That's a force of will in response.
It's going to be, life gains, life losses. I'm not sure whether the life totals are correct right now because
Well, Force loses
No,
a
there
point,
is-
and yep, so 17 plays 16, I believe. Thomas on 16. Because
good
of
work, Sully.
Force of will.
You're doing great, buddy.
Of course, I might be wrong, and no, Sully agrees with me. Thank you, Sully. Awesome. Well,
Kimball does screw with the mass a bit.
yes.
I mean, sure, 2 damage for attacking, whatever. But when there's a counter war, it's just
So very interesting. Would you have countered that lightning bolt and kept Cumble around, or would you have kept the Force up for
think-
another threat?
I think I might have. It really depends on how you feel about Kimball in this match. And I think Jacob has to play multiple spells to win the game now.
Yeah.
Like, I can't see how Jacob. I can't see how he deals with Stony Silence, which is amazing. Like, it's a great read by Thomas, by the way. Like, I was questioning whether to even board them in.
Yep.
But I guess when we went through the deck, there was a lot of sort of cards that didn't seem great in this match in particular. So you bring them in, and it seems game winning.
Well, yeah. As I said, it stopped what Jacob's hand was sculpted around. Really,
Does Jacob win this game if he was on the play?
No, I don't think so.
'Cause I don't know when he had the mocks.
It would depend on his priority of play. If he played the library first,
Which you would.
yep. So then he's a turn behind.
Yeah.
Even then,
With
and
mana.
he can play
Oh,
key.
yeah, he gets the Kimball. I think Thomas is rather happy with that because now he can play. Now he's ways relatively clear for Mentor to do its thing.
So it was a Snapcaster into the Bolt.
So we could tap out and play Mentor, or just
Got a Pyroblast in hand.
yeah. You can't hold up Pyroblast. He doesn't have red mana. So
Very true.
Time Walk. He really wants to play Monastery Mentor and then Time Walk. But tough to do with only 3. He's sort of pinched himself on his mana, hasn't he?
He has, but by the same token, the loss of a couple of bits of mana, as opposed to stopping the Time Vault key combo, has been quite relevant. So we have 3 of the 4 colours of Thomas's deck. Just missing that red. So offers the trade for the Snapcaster. Is taken. So is this where the Mentor comes down now? It looks like he's playing with Time Walk. So is it a Time Walk turn? Is it a Mentor turn? Do you present the threat, or
I think, yeah, I was going to say, I think you might just play the Time Walk.
yep,
It's one of those weird spots where you might you do it in reverse because you've got control of the game. You just want a little bit more resources and
Yep.
card advantage.
and at this stage, protecting that Mentor is now becoming priority 1 because he's lost his combo win condition. He's now only got the Mentor. So if he plays Mentor and Jacob has a Force or a way to deal with the Mentor, that means Thomas runs out of options,
That's
and then they're both at a very standstill point. So I
Yeah,
think
he's still got to win the game, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And that fetch line's probably really good for him. So now he can go Mentor, Pyroblast.
Yep. So of course next turn,
Ancestral Recall's a good card.
one of the best apparently.
I like it. It's okay.
Does-
I put away my blue cards today.
Mm,
Played the colourless monsters and got smashed. Yeah, Hercules Recall does not do the job. Dark Confident, well, it's a wink on. For who?
That's true. So is that another Snapcaster in Thomas's hand there? He's gone with the Mentor.
There's the Mentor. Alright, is there going to be a fight? There has to be, doesn't there?
Yeah.
Ancestral Recall. I think I'd just let that resolve fast, Thomas.
Well, what does Recall say? Does it say he's digging for answers, or he's trying to bait out something? In which
In
case,
this case, it seems he's. I would say he's desperate.
yep.
But, yeah, that's the obvious play. I mean, oh, here we are. We got Adelaide Eternal
Yeah.
Mentor tokens, yeah.
So those moxes
Yeah.
came in handy just to trigger that
Trigger,
prowess.
yeah, that's right.
So this game has definitely gone into Thomas's control.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I-
might be
I-
a good game 3.
I can't see Jacob getting out of this spot.
Yeah, well, what does Jacob need to get to answer the mentor even?
Does he have? No, he only did. He didn't bring in his toxic deluge.
Hmm.
I still don't know what he does against Stony Silence.
And I think it's just a hope he doesn't play it, or find
I
one
guess-
of his other win
I guess what
conditions.
it is he wants to play a Jace. He wants to land a Jace or a. Does he play deck faded to win the game? No, just Jace. Jace is his win. Is his out now?
Yep.
Jace Tinker. I guess Tinker right now. Oh, well, actually,
VT.
VT. This could be interesting. This isn't in. Oh no, wait. He probably has 7 cards in hand, does he?
Well, he just
VT
called,
take
so
8 down to 7 for VT. Go get Tinker. Play. Oh no, he needs the land as well.
he's looking at Tolarian Academy. at the
Yeah,
moment.
well that could get him out
Bolt
of the pickle.
to maybe get a. Oh,
Was
bolts.
that a lightning bolt?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think he's hedging that that Thomas can't stop the bolt.
And it's interesting. See, my read would be until I'm not 100% sure what's in Thomas's hand right now. Well, we know he's got a Pyroblast. So it's
Yeah.
actually going to work really well. But my read would be, if I was sitting in Jacob's hand side, is that he's throwing a couple of moxes out to trigger a couple of tokens. I'm assuming he's probably holding a couple of counter spells.
Yeah. That and the tokens themselves are just going to be a problem as well.
Oh yeah,
It's-
that's right.
You deal with the mentor, you still got the tokens to deal with now.
Yeah, those things can get out of hand as well.
Yep. So you've got to fetch.
Yeah. And what's that going to get us? The Volcanic Island. And...
What's the play?
Well, he could play Pyroblast just for another token, I guess. Oh no, he's got
Fluster-
Fluster Storm
oh,
in hand. I didn't
okay.
see that in his hand. Yep.
No. So,
Yeah, and look, that's what I was saying before. My read would be that he has
Yeah, as a counter.
can as
Yeah.
well. And we actually did. I was unaware that Fluster Storm was one of them.
I think he's had that Foster song for a very long time,
Wow.
actually,
Yeah,
holding
I
on
know
to
it's
it.
sitting there for a while. But this without he's unlined knife too. So what's that? 2 spells. One spell.
2 spells, but he blocks. Sorry, 1 spell if he doesn't block
Doesn't
with the
2.
confident. 2 if he
2
does.
spells, he wins the game. With Mentor.
So we have
So-
Pyroblast.
The only out I can think of for Jacob is Time Walk into Tinker. Still that Tinker I keep coming back to.
So what does Jacob tinker for in this situation?
Well, he's big fat creature. Whatever it is. I think it's Mirror Battlesphere.
Battlesphere, and Battlesphere will do
Yeah,
a
it
good
does a good
enough
job
job
of blocking.
Yeah. Won't do a lot else afterwards, I guess.
Alright. So we've passed the turn to Thomas, I believe. And he's drawn a Cabal, I think. Oh, Snapcaster Mage. He's played. What are we targeting?
What do we have?
Your-
So he's already Snapcast and Acorn. Jacob's back.
he's picking it up, yeah. Snapcaster, I think did he have Acorn? It doesn't matter. So what do you,
He Snapcast an Acorn earlier in the game, so
I feel like if I'm Jacob, I'm looking at my sideboard again. But
yeah, I think Thomas has done.
He grabbed a card then.
Let's see.
let's see if I can pick up what
Is
he
it
did.
that toxic deluge that he has?
Possibly.
So does Thomas sideboard? I don't think. I think Thomas is quite happy with how that went.
I think he's feeling pretty chuffed about himself with that Stony Silence.
Yeah.
That was epic.
So what does Jacob look for? He's taking
taking
out
the
Lotus
Petal.
Petal.
Which I think was the
Toxic
Toxic
Deluge.
Deluge. Okay, and I think the Lotus Petal was the replacement for Black Lotus.
I believe that would be the case. It would be my replacement for Lotus if I wasn't able to get one. But well, let's see. Jacob's on the play.
That does change things.
We've
Down to game
seen
3.
libraries in both games. from.
Oh.
Well, I've seen 3 libraries in 2 games.
Can I
is
say it? Ick. Pile
Oh.
shuffling.
Can you be done for time wasting pile shuffling in the I don't think
Tom
so.
Judge.
Yeah. Tom would be a little upset with this. We even saw a DT flip, so we know exactly where the DT is. So there's a trouble with pile shuffling.
You accidentally flip one. Yeah, you got to shuffle again as soon as you do
It doesn't sufficiently randomize the cards. So maybe they were just counting the cards to make sure that they had 60. Counting 15 cards, and your sideboard does that as well, though.
Yeah. All right.
So game 3, and what great games it's been.
Yeah, they've been really good games. I mean, that one was. I reckon if Jacob resolved a Jace, he might have been back in it.
Yep.
But I think that might have been bad. He's only out.
Yeah.
Thomas windmilled that Sony Silence, played a Kimball. They had a couple of little fights, but all in all.
So Jacob's win conditions are 3 Jaces, the Tinker into the Battle Sphere, and Time Walk Key. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
Well, I guess you got Dark Confident and Snapcast and Mage beats.
Well, true.
Get the human beats in there.
That does happen.
What do you feel about Cavern of Salt? Okay, what do we got? We got a Jace, a Notion.
Notions
Thief.
if you
That
do
could be good. And an
A-Call.
A-Call in Thomas's hand. A couple of forces.
That was a Tinker. That's a Tinker. 2 cards from the top.
Alright. Do you leave Hercule's Recall in? What's Hercule's Recall doing in this game? Oh, it's yeah. I think we got the hat trick, didn't we? A library in every game.
3 and 3.
Yeah.
I think it's actually 4 libraries in 3 games because in game
Oh,
1
yeah,
they
that's right.
both
We
played
had them.
library.
Yes.
Dark Confident.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a really good play
Yeah.
because it does the same job as a library. It's a turn later,
Yep.
but it will keep Jacob at parity with the libraries.
And let's just hope Jacob doesn't hit like the Force of Wills and stuff that really tilts it
Well, he's
out.
got 2 in his hand, so
Yeah. So the good thing about Bob, it's also a body that he can start slamming into Thomas.
yeah. So it does put a little bit of pressure on Thomas. But that library,
I mean, what is life but another resource, really?
and well, there's the problem. I was about to say that. Only thing is, there's going to be more answers for a Dark Confident than a Library of Alexandria, which we know Jacob only has a strip line.
So how many cards does that bring Thomas to?
He would have went 9 for turn when he drew for turn. 8, 7.
7?
So he's back at 7.
Yeah.
So he skipped his library draw this turn. Oh. Well,
Well,
okay, well, we've got a result to one of the other top 8 rounds.
yep.
Jared also had beaten Luke McCoy, 2 TCM members, 2-1. So Dredge is bowed out in the...
One of the 2 Dredge decks. Lost to Standstill. I dare say Moat.
Yeah, Moat
Would
is
have
the
done
card,
a
yeah. Does a
big
good
thing.
job, that card.
Yeah, Moat is definitely shining in the current Standstill lists. I do believe Jimbo has said that if it wasn't for Moat, this list wouldn't work half as well.
Yeah. It's interesting. That and it could be a whole other conversation that we could have.
Yes,
So,
definitely in the future. Maybe in another podcast.
yes, I think we're working on that greatly down here at TCM. All right.
I love that Jacob
So it
uses
is,
hand
yeah.
motions so that we can see
Yeah.
he's doing. It's great. He's
Okay, no response. I like it.
Yeah. Pleasure to watch. Pyroblast.
Is that one in hand, one on top? Which, I suppose it technically go both on top.
Yeah, let's just be careful about that, considering.
Yeah, well, the warning before, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Confident trigger. Yes. Still waiting.
A-Call in
A-Call in response to the
response?
Dark Confident trigger? Is this... Yeah, okay, well, that's fair enough. Hate to see him put on top of Mental Misstep or something and...
True.
Jacob, interesting. Jacob's
But-
only playing 2 mentals.
Spell
Missteps.
pierce. So by doing that, he's let Jacob untap.
Or misstep in response.
Misstep in response. Look, we've had this discussion before. Mental misstep is really good against other blue players
And a force of will as well.
targeting the A-call,
Yeah.
as opposed to targeting the misstep, because then something can counter the spell pierce.
Yeah.
So, correct play by Jacob. That's a good bob.
Ooh. And Mystical Tutor. And get in for those beats.
So how do you feel about misstep? Good in this match?
Yeah. Yeah. It's good against any blue.
Yep.
Let's be honest. If you're playing super efficient decks, which Vintage have so finely tuned, you just got to have misstep. I think people are starting to get wise about it and playing things like a Braid because it doesn't lose
Yep.
to misstep. But still, if I have a choice, I probably want a Lightning Bolt. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, Thomas had to skip his library draw earlier because he
The
wanted to
Abrade
abrade
was a
the
2-cost. Yeah.
Lightning Bolt. The Bob, I mean. Yeah.
So are we finding that compared to Chalice, because Chalice is now restricted?
I think I might like to say to everyone, my colleague here is baiting me. Chalice of the Void should not be restricted, according to me. It was a bit of an unfun card, but it created so many different decks.
So mystical and
I'm gonna go on a tangent, and we shouldn't be.
There's many ways to get around Chalice, very much as there's many ways to
Yeah.
get around mental misstep.
All right. So what are we? Okay, A-call. Now, simple.
So he's mystical for the A-call,
A-call. In response to the swords.
which is in response to attack, so it's still in combat. A-call on top. I find that interesting timing for the...
Well, no, it was in Thomas's turn.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Do you
then.
force it with Tinker in hand? I think you do. Yeah.
Okay.
Tinker can feel like such a blowout. Yuck. Well, yuck if you're Jacob. Woohoo if you're Thomas.
Yep. So now Jacob
My
has no
opponent
cards.
has no
in hand.
cards, and well, he's taking himself off the library though. But I think library's done its job now.
Yep.
Is that Stony Silence I saw drawn just then?
Mental.
Oh, is it?
I believe. I think it's mental.
I think you're right.
Not that Stone Science or Mentor is doing a lot at the moment.
Not doing much at the moment, but
Although Jacob had no cards in hand, so it's interesting that Thomas didn't play it if it is Mentor.
it is mental. It is mental.
Yep.
I'd probably play mental here and start trying.
Maybe he's looking to get back up to library parity. I would have played Mentor and put down the pressure on Jacob because Jacob was empty-handed.
You're empty-handed. You had nothing to do, and it just wins the game so fast. BT is it VT at end step?
VT.
It's hard to tell what because they're doing the pass. Is he back at 7 already? Wow.
Yeah.
And has that force of will off the top as well?
Does he force VT or does he force what VT
Oh, he's got
gets?
mental misstep, I think.
Oh, okay.
You throw a mental misstep at that.
Yeah.
Might not even pay the life. I might even pay 1 blue. Which he
Yeah.
does. Yep.
Yeah, so that was the end of Thomas's turn. So past turn, we have a force and a... Is it... Oh, that might be Battle Sphere and Bolt in Jacob's hand, actually.
Oh, Battle Sphere.
Doesn't look good.
Yuck.
Is it? I can't tell. It's shiny.
Yeah.
What's he do?
Yeah, you throw it down. Is he on 7 cards?
Yep. Stony
Stony
Silence.
Silence. I don't know how Jacob gets out of this. I think I'm not sure I would have played it the same way as Thomas has played it, but A win, the way you get the win doesn't really matter.
Yes, that's true.
And I think this game is pretty much over. And there's a
So,
yeah, okay. Well,
Yep.
I think he rewound to draw a card first and then
Notion Thief.
get the Notion Thief.
It's had a pile of moxes just on the bottom of the library.
Yeah.
As far away from his stony suns as he could possibly manage.
This game's gonna
Mana Leak.
drain.
Sorry, yeah, Drain. Man Drain.
Forcible. It
Has to be a force, right?
Oh, Pyroblast, even better.
Okay. Because that Drain was...
No, Thomas has played this really well, and it really doesn't matter now. I don't know what Jacob can do to get out of this.
Well, let's see. He's got the... If he finds a Jace...
He's got to resolve.
Well, true. Same with the Neg 1.
I think
X-Life Neg 1.
I think if Jacob could have got a strip mine about 10 turns ago and got rid of that library.
Oh, look a one-of card in the deck of 60, and it's shown in every game.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's one of those cards that kind of feels bad when you draw it mid to late game when you've expended your hand, but geez, it's good, right? It's just shown how good it is in these games.
With cards like Treasure Cruise, as we watch.
Yep.
And Dig Through Time and Gush.
Yeah.
It's not even bad then in the late game, mid to late game.
So that was
fill your hand
Cruise.
up again. Yeah, this is just because you can.
Yeah.
Right, like he's probably got 8 cards in hand now. Yeah. No,
close.
7. Ugh.
Always 7. And combo just a icing cake.
Oh, that was the real Battlesphere in his hand.
Yeah, so it wasn't. So 10 plays 16. There's a Dak Faden.
For extra goodness,
Yep.
let's play a DAC. Let's draw a card off library. Oh no! Well, sorry, Faden. We've done it. He's done it. You want to explain?
Grixis Thieves.
Want to explain the interaction here, Lee?
So this is interesting because Notion Thief, I'd have to...
Notion Thief says if you're... Actually, probably the Oracle text would be better.
Yeah, because I think Notion Thief says if you draw more than one card. In which case... Yes, let's see what... If an opponent would draw a card, except the first one he or she draws in each of his or her draw steps.
That's the why.
That's the point there.
Yeah.
Instead, that player skips that draw and you draw a card. So, Thomas has played Dak Faden and ticked it up, targeting Jacob. So Jacob draws 2 cards outside of his draw step, which then the Notion Thief
Yeah, that's right. So what ends up happening is Thomas
draws
the
2 cards.
instead.
And Jacob discards 2 cards.
2 cards, yep.
And there's a Fate Seal from the Jace.
And we've got the hand extension. Well, congratulations, Thomas. It was super well played. I think we had a lesson on how Library of Alexandria wins games.
Yes, indeed. So I think there are 2 other top 8 games going on still.
Yes.
We've had the one.
Hopefully we can get some results up. And then we will sign out. We've already know one other result, and that is Jared Allsop has made it into top 4, beating Luke McCoy.
Yep.
The Dredge
Yeah.
guy losing to the Landstool guy.
Very interesting, I think that. But
We have now a fish, he's called it a fish deck. It's not-
Controllish fishy.
He's called a Controllish Fishies deck. Alright, we'll sign it up and some new people will be in for the top 4.
Yeah.
We're done.